All right. Let's see here, get the cursor out of the way. All right, guys, we should be recording. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about how to create email copy, also how to do ad copy for social media as well. I don't want to go as far to say that this can be used for SMS text because you're limited to, I think, 160 characters with SMS. Also with solo ad copy, you're typically limited to how many characters you can use. But the general idea, the general purpose, the general principles behind this training you could use for any of those marketing strategies. But I'm really going to be focusing tonight on email marketing, which all of you guys are probably doing at this point, especially if you're using the Thrive funnel. You know, we got the built-in email broadcaster you could be using. So I imagine all of you guys are probably using email marketing. So we'll cover that, also a little bit of social media, and share how to create essentially ad copy. Okay, it's going to be posts, social media posts, but essentially it's like ad copy. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few basics here. First off, we'll get into email marketing. And I think this is so important, guys. If you're building a list in National Wealth Center, heck, if you're building a list anywhere online through email, you should be taking advantage of that list. I mean, it's an invaluable resource that, you know, a lot of people don't have. And if you're just starting out in the business and you're building your leads list up by email, great. Keep building that list and keeping them excited, sharing information with them, and ultimately get them signed up in your business, right? So we'll be talking about how to use email to do that tonight, but you should definitely be doing that. And we'll show you a few things that I think can help you with your email marketing. Some things I've done and things I typically, when it comes to email marketing, I typically don't think a whole lot, because I think a lot of it's second nature to me now, and it will be to you too as you do this more and more and you gain more experience in it. But I think for the most part, every time I'm creating emails now, there's a few things that off this list right here that I intentionally think about as I'm creating an email, especially the subject line. But a lot of it has become second nature, and I don't have to refer to a list anymore to figure out what I'm doing. But in the beginning, it's really good to have this list of things to focus on, okay? The first thing on the list we're going to be talking about is focusing on a catchy, attention-grabbing subject line. I can't stress this enough. If you're doing email advertise or email marketing to your list or wherever else, your subject line is the most important part of your email. Arguably, it could be, you know, next is important to your call to action, right? But your subject line is what gets people to actually open the email message, which is what you want, right? You want to increase your open rate. So it's very important that you think through your subject line probably more than any other part of your email. And there's a lot of different, actually at the bottom of this list, and I'll show you after this, at the bottom of this list, I've got a link to an incredible, invaluable resource I found online for subject lines that you can use in your email marketing that are brilliant. And they also go into detail of why they work. And there's a lot of good gold nuggets in there that you could really, I mean, I could really do a whole full webinar just on that. But it's just note that it's very important to have a really good subject line. That's what's going to get your people to open the email. Now, some of the things you could be hitting on with your subject line are some pain points. You know, what are people struggling with? Lack of money, debt, stuff like that. Also just things that'll grab their attention. One thing that I know that I try to use a lot are numbers in my headline. I don't know what it is. Subject line, not headline. I don't know what it is about numbers, but it really grabs people's attention. If you say 3 top ways to make money online in 2018, you know, or 3 top ways to make money in 2019, they might be thinking ahead, right? Things like that with numbers in it, lists, stuff like that. There's a reason why, I don't know if you guys know of a site called BuzzFeed. I think all they do is lists, right? Am I correct about that? I believe that all they do is lists. And there's a reason why that website's so successful, because people's attention span is so low these days that all they want to do is see a list, right? So if you can, you know, kind of hint that your email is just a quick little list, then they might check it out. They might be more opt to open it up. So there's a lot of great ways to create attractive subject lines, things that are going to get people's attention. But mainly, you want to look at things that are going to pique their interest. You know, obviously, we're sitting here promoting an opportunity to make money from home. So obviously, you want to put something in the head or the subject line that speaks to that, right? Way to get them out of debt, the way to let them quit their 9-to-5, stuff like that. So focus on your subject line. And again, there's a link at the bottom of this this page. And I'll tell you what, Well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till the end of the webinar, and then I'll send you guys the link. That way you can follow along and you can see that resource I'm talking about. There's some incredible subject lines in there. You're not going to copy them verbatim, but use the ideas behind them to create your own subject lines to get people to open your emails. But that is so important. That's the most important thing. If you can't get people to open your emails, game over, right? If they're not opening it, or if worse, it's going to spam because you're not paying attention to that, that's an issue, okay? So the main goal is to get them to open the email. The next important thing will be the call to action. We'll talk about that in a moment. Next thing I want to mention here is don't give everything away for free. What I mean by that is not give away your National Wealth Center products for free, obviously. What I mean is don't give them all the information away for free. And I don't mean charge them for the information. I mean make them do something. And this gets into our call to action and what you're trying to accomplish with this email that's going out to them. So making sure they have to take an action to get all the details. Just give them enough details to get them excited, to get them interested, to make them follow along with your call to action, whatever that is. And go check out your website, most likely is going to be your call to action. So just give them enough information that it hits home with them, probably hits some pain points as well. And they want to go check out your website. But don't write them a book. I see a lot of people, because I opted into several lists. Over the years, I've opted into several of the top marketers in our niche. I've opted into some of their lists just to see their emails and what they're doing. And I think I've learned a lot from doing that. But I do that, and I like to see their emails. Sometimes they're books. Sometimes you can get like a story that's 2 pages long, and I'm like, how in the world are they getting anybody to follow along with this? So, to each their own, but try to keep it as short as possible. That is really kind of the rule of thumb. Keep it short and sweet to the point, all right? Next up, steer clear of false promises and guarantees. I can't tell you how many times I've seen these emails, and they usually go right to my spam or junk folder. I open all emails that I get typically, unless I just know it's from somebody who regularly spams me, and then I just delete it, block them, whatever. But, I see a lot of people offering up guarantees, ways to make $100,000 this year guaranteed. And for you guys, and I know I'm waiting for one of you guys to call me out on this, on tonight or earlier today on our Facebook group, I posted 10x your business guaranteed or something like that on Facebook. I didn't do that, and I kind of regretted it afterwards because I was like, some people are going to come on this webinar and they're going to be like, what if Brandon, how can you guarantee that I can 10x my income in National Wealth Center with this training? I can't guarantee that, right? I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know if you're actually going to use this training or not. And I don't know precisely that it's going to 10x your income, right? So I can't really promise it. I can't really guarantee that. But the idea behind that was to grab your guys' attention. It worked in that manner, but it could backfire on you. So if you're out there shooting out emails every day saying, hey, you can make $50,000 a month guaranteed your first month in National Wealth Center. Join with me, though. You got to join with me. I can make sure you make $50,000 a month. Well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to join with you. They're not going to make $50,000 their first month unless they're just an awesome rockstar network marketer. But if it's the new person who a message like that's really going to appeal to, and they join with you and they don't make $50,000 your first month, you're risking your reputation, and you're not doing what you said you could do, and they're never going to trust you again. So don't make false promises. Don't make guarantees that you cannot hold up to. Okay. Now, if you want to say something like, I could show you a way to quit your 9-to-5. Yeah, you could show people a way to quit their 9-to-5. Don't guarantee that they're going to be able to quit their 9-to-5 in 2 weeks, though. Okay, hope that makes sense. McKay said game over. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, don't steer clear of false promises, things that you cannot. There's no way you can hold yourself up to, right? And no guarantees. Okay, I hate offering guarantees. I did this. I tried this a while back. It actually worked for a little while. I had some kind of system in place that worked. I steer clear of that now. I don't guarantee anything. I'd rather see people put in the action, make an effort, do the work, and I'll show them the path. I'll show them how to do this. I'll train them. I'll get on webinars. I'll do whatever I have to do. I'll get on the phone. I'll do 3-way calls with them, whatever I got to do. But I can't guarantee anything, okay? Nobody should be doing that. So steer clear of that, guys. As we mentioned earlier, keep your message clear and brief. So don't write a whole book. And besides, you're really wanting to give the little fine details about whatever it is you're talking about. Most likely with us, we're talking about National Wealth Center. So in your email, you might give away a few bullet points, such as 100% commissions, work from home, possibility of firing your boss, whatever you want to put in there, but don't give them the whole compensation plan, the company background, every single product level. Don't give them all that information. Let them opt into your website and learn that for themselves. Also, that goes to talking to people on the phone too. I see people do that, or hear about people do that as well. Get people to your website as quick as possible. You shouldn't be explaining everything about your business, and especially not in an email. Okay. Yeah. Coach Steve says, keep it simple, stupid. I know how some people say keep it simple, stupid, or keep it stupid, simple. Anyway, KISS method there. Next up, hit on pain points. Now, this is something, it sounds cruel. It's not though. You're trying to get people to take an action to improve their life, right? We have a proven business model here with National Wealth Center. We have products. Even if they just joined National Wealth Center and used our self-development, our business development, our products, they can improve their life, right? So you can hit on those pain points, or you can hit on the pain points of, hey, you're not making enough money. You're in debt. You don't have enough time to spend with your family. And don't mistake that everybody out there thinks, or don't think that everybody's wanting to join your business because they don't have enough money. I used to think that. I used to think, well, everybody just wants more money. That's not true at all. A lot of people don't. It's not the money that, sure, that's what people want, I guess you could say, but the byproducts of what they're really after. More time with their family, more time to spend with their kids, a chance to go on a vacation that they haven't gone on in 5 years, an option to fire their boss. I'd rather be able to fire my boss and live broke than make money. That's me though. So there's a lot of different pain points you can hit on for people out there, and focus on those. And you'll learn those as you're in the business long enough, or the longer you're in the business, you'll learn from talking to people, whether that be by phone or by email, and you'll find out what people are really struggling with, what they're hurting with in these days, these times. And a lot of it, nowadays, there's a lot of people out of work, companies laying people off. This has become the norm now, though. It used to not be the norm. When I first got into network marketing, it was kind of a new thing that all these companies were laid off. There was a generation of people who could actually retire. And don't get me wrong, there's still occupations out there you can retire from. But there was a big new wave of companies just laying people off left and right. And that became the new norm, where people used to think they could go to school, go to college, get a degree, and they go work for a company for however many years until they're 60, 65, retire, live happily ever after. Well, those days are, for the most part, are not here anymore, okay? Except for a few occupations out there that still holds true. But for the most part, people don't know that. There's no certainties anymore. There's no security. People used to hate network marketing because they felt secure in their jobs, or not hate network marketing, but they wouldn't go towards network marketing because they seemed fearful of it, or they thought it was the scarier option. Well, to me, working a 9 to 5 is now more scary than trying to do something a little different, working from home. So, but hit on people's pain points. Again, you'll learn about what those are as time goes on, that you're in the business, you're talking to people. I know a lot of people here, Coach Steve, Carrie, some of these guys on here and these girls on here, they've talked to a lot of people. And I bet you they could tell me, 5, 10 pain points off the top of their head because they've talked to people. They know what people are struggling with. And sometimes it's just money. People just want more money, pay rent, pay their mortgage, pay off a loan, whatever. But for the most part, they're looking for a better way of life, a better way to live. So there's a lot of different pain points you could hit on. Think about those and mention those in your emails. You can even throw it maybe in the subject line somewhere. Get out of debt. Get out of debt in the next 10 months. I'll show you how. So hit on pain points. Do that. Don't do it a whole lot. Do it enough though, to where it really gets them emotionally attached to the opportunity, and they're thinking of it more of a way to get out of their situation, and find a better way. Okay. And again, this isn't something cruel. This isn't something we're doing to put salt in the wound. But sometimes, guys, you have to give people a little salt in the wound to get them motivated to take action. I know that for me, and I can only speak for myself, I struggled out there. A lot of people don't know this. Before I got into network marketing, before I got into National Wealth Center, I struggled. I struggled big time. And I'm proud of that now, that I was able to find a better way. National Wealth Center was it. And changed my life completely around. But I struggled, okay? And so my pain points early on were, I'm sick of living paycheck to paycheck, right? I'm sick of living paycheck to paycheck, no money to go anywhere, no money to even get my car fixed. I had a banged up door on my Honda Accord. I wish I had pictures of that to show you guys. It was awful. I had no money to fix that. I had no money for my cell phone bill. Times were rough, okay? So hit on those pain points. You'd be amazed at what kind of motivation that could put behind somebody, okay? Gary says almost always it's a lack of money. Yeah, lack of money is the root symptom, I guess you could say there, that allows us to do other things in life and allows us to change our way of life. I'm not gonna lie, I mean, people will say that money doesn't make you happy, and right, money, a stack of cash in my hand does nothing for me. But what that money can do, and allow me not to have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to a place I don't like and work for somebody I don't like, allow me to go on vacation, allow me to live comfortably and knowing that my bills are paid, that makes me happy. That makes me comfortable, okay? And it makes me feel good, okay? I don't have stressors, or at least financial stressors, right? So anyway, I won't get into all that, but true, money won't make you happy, but it helps the situation, doesn't it? So anyway, pain points, very important to talk about. Now, another thing I want to mention here is don't come off cocky or self-consumed. And what I mean by this is I see a lot of people, especially on social media, we're going to talk about social media a little bit in a minute, but I see a lot of people on social media talking about what they've done in their business. They could say something like, for example, I made $20,000 this week. Okay. What do your followers care about that, right? What can you do for them? Change it up. Don't talk about you all the time. It's okay. Like if you want to share your results, in fact, I think you should share your results from time to time so people know, hey, he still got it. She still got it. She's killing it this week. So don't be afraid to show your results from time to time, but don't make that the majority of what you're posting about. Also, don't sound cocky about how you're doing it. You don't say like nobody else in the company is able to do this like me, or I mean, I don't know of anybody out there doing it, but don't be cocky about things. Remain humble. If you lose your humbleness, you're probably not going to make it far in this industry. I can tell you that. You need to always be out to look for how you can improve other people. I say that in my head all day long, literally about every day. I just haven't kind of thought of it, but I think about that over and over in my head every day. What can I do to help other people? And I figured this out a long time ago in network marketing, that if you can focus on what you can do for other people and you really truly are motivated in a true way like that, and that's your goal, is to help other people, you're going to have everything you want. Okay. Don't even worry about it. Just find out how you can help other people. Well, that shows through when you're sending out emails talking about the business, or you're posting on social media. And if all you're posting is, hey, look at my results, look what I've done, or even I've got the #1 team or something like that, it seems cocky, doesn't seem humble, and it doesn't seem like you're in a place of giving. Okay. So always remain humble, always write from a place where you're out there trying to help other people, because at the end of the day, people don't care what you've done in your business. Okay. Some people might be impressed. You might get some fans, you might get some followers, but at the end of the day, the people who are going to join you in your opportunity are the people who see that you're able to help them in some way. So be sure that you're sharing more of that than what you've done for yourself. Okay. Another thing you could do, and again, this really applies to both social media marketing and email marketing, but create a sense of urgency. This could be, let me think of an example here. A good example is our webinars. Okay, we do our training or our opportunity webinars every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and a lot of you guys should be inviting people onto those calls or those webinars. And so what you could do, and this isn't true, but you could say limited seating. That's true. I wouldn't say like 10 seats left. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, but that I don't want to tell you guys that, because then you're going to think, wow, we are limited on seats. But no, say, limited seating, go ahead and register now so you can reserve your seat, something like that. Okay. It's true. There is limited seating unless we upgrade our plan, which we would. But say limited seating, that's a sense of urgency. Oh, I better take action now because I don't want to miss out on this. Maybe I'm not that interested, but let me go ahead and register. Okay. Here's the killer thing, guys. And I'm kind of breaking away for a second, but with that opportunity webinar, if you can get people to register, the system sends them out automated emails to remind them to get onto the webinar. Okay, so if you guys can create a sense of urgency to get people to register, it'll send them reminders, hey, webinar starts in an hour, webinar starts in 30 minutes. Okay, so if you guys can get them on and get them registered, good. But create a sense of urgency. There's other ways to do that. You know, I see a lot of posts on social media, especially where people are saying, I'm going to help 5 more people in my business reach $200 this week or something. Well, chances are they would probably be willing to help 10 people that week, right? It's a sense of urgency that they're creating. And I hate to burst the bubble with any marketers out there that say that. And some people, and there are a handful of people, I know one real serious top marketer out there who actually does this and sticks to it. He'll say like 10 more people and that's it. And he is serious. Most part though, or for the most part, people say that to create a sense of urgency. It's not true, right? They'll say 5 more people, the 5 next people that join up with me, I'm going to help them every single day get to blah, blah, blah. It's a perfectly fine, legitimate marketing strategy, and it creates a sense of urgency that, hey, I want to be one of those next 5 people, right? I don't want other people to get ahead of me and get on that. You know, create a sense of urgency. There's lots of other ways to do it. See what we got in the comments here. Almost always, okay, by helping others will help your business. Absolutely. Coach Steve says, I prefer to share other people's results 100%. It goes a lot longer, a lot further if you could show, hey, look what my members are doing. You know, that already looks good on you anyway, right? But you're not sitting here bragging about yourself. He said, there's a great book by A.L. Williams, Pushing Up People. I like the sound of it. I'm going to have to check it out now. Cool. I have to check that out. So create a sense of urgency. Write as if you're writing to one person. Better yet, if you're writing emails, and this goes back to email copy, write as if you're writing to your best friend, okay? Or just a friend, okay? Keep the wording, keep your, not personality, but keep your, personality is not the word I'm looking for. Keep the language friendly, okay? As if you're just talking to somebody. Keep it informal is what the word I'm looking for, okay? You don't want to come off like a robot. You don't want to come off like some corporate guy or girl. You want to come off like you're a best friend helping a guy out. And one of the best ways to do this, right as if you're writing to just one person and not a list, is to use personalization inside of your emails. So with the Thrive funnel, the NWC funnel, you can, whenever you're sending out an email broadcast, you can actually put in their name there. So it should show at the bottom of the email broadcaster system there. It'll show you some little things you can plug in. One of them is the tilde name, tilde, N-A-M-E, tilde, and that will insert their first name that they entered in on the opt-in form. Okay, that's a good way to personalize the email as if you're just talking to them. Also, instead of saying, let's just say your email is trying to convey that, you know, you have a new, let me think of a good example here, that you've got a marketing strategy that can help a bunch of people get the results they want. Well, instead of saying that, say, I've got this incredible marketing strategy that you name would absolutely love to see, and I would love to show it to you. Do you have a moment? Give me a call, whatever, right? So that way you're adding personalization. It's as if you were just talking to them, but you're sending that exact same email out to everybody else, okay? So create that kind of personalization in your email, and then it'll give people that feeling that, hey, you really, truly care about them, which we do. Like, we care about everybody. We just can't, you know, we can't individually email each person, right? Or it would take forever. So we've got systems in place to help us with this, but it gives them that feeling, hey, Carrie or Coach Steve is really interested in helping me as a person, and they must have been listening. They know that I'm struggling right now, okay? So give them that personalization, let them feel as if you're talking to them as a friend, okay? Create a definitive call to action, okay? I could have said just create a call to action. Create a definitive call to action. What I mean is that be specific about what next steps you want a person to take from reading your email. Okay, that's what a call to action is. What do you want them to do? Like, really, a call to action is, what was your ultimate goal for sending out that email? Okay, so you don't want to tell them that, hey, I'm sending this out to you because I want to get you to opt in I want to send this email out to you so you go visit my website again. That's a terrible call to action, even though it does tell them exactly what you're wanting them to do. Create a call to action such as in the middle of your email somewhere, or somewhere in your email, put a link or a hyperlink. You know, you can highlight it and put a link in there back to your sales page and have that text say, view the presentation again, or visit my website again. That's a pretty definitive call to action saying, hey, go back to the website, check it out again, and see if this is for you or something like that. Okay, that's a definitive call to action. There's other call to actions as well. And, when we're talking about social media, there's some other options. Let me just give you another example for email. For email, one option you could do is say, hey, name, name. This is Carrie. I'm reaching out to you because I'm interested to see if you had a chance to watch my video presentation. I'm a real human being. I don't hide behind computers or websites or blogs. Send me a text at your phone number, and I will get back to you as soon as possible to answer any questions you have. That's another specific, definitive call to action that you've given them. Okay, hope that makes sense. Now with social media, there's a couple of other things you can do that are really cool and that actually help you along with the social media algorithm. And a lot of the algorithms today have become similar. Facebook and Instagram are very similar. I think they're both owned by the same company, I believe now. But with Facebook specifically, let's talk about Facebook. Your call to action in a post might be comment yes below for more information. Or it might be message me directly through DM for more information. And those are both call to actions. You need to have a call to action somewhere typically. Okay, and we'll get into some other things that you might not need a call to action, but typically you're going to need a call to action somewhere, especially if you're trying to sell somebody on the business, okay, or get them into the business, okay? All right, let's get into a next one here. Write fast, but proofread, okay? What I mean is whenever you get an idea, whenever I'm going about my day, it's not very rare that I don't have some ideas of things I want to write an email about or social media about, okay? When you guys see me post things on Facebook, or maybe some of you guys are on my email list and you get emails from me. Well, the emails you're seeing are thoughts that pop into my head during the day. And I like to get those written down as fast as possible so my memory or the idea stays fresh with me. So I'll get on my notepad on my iPhone. You guys can do it for Android, or if you're next to your computer, just go ahead and write out the email. And it might be a quick little story about something that happened. It might be just an email about the business. Maybe you just had this idea. Wow, I was just remembered how much I used to struggle living paycheck to paycheck. And I remember that time that, trying to think of an example. I went to a million job applications or interviews and I couldn't get one or something. I remember that struggle. So I want to write an email about that and tell them, hey, I remember these days when I used to struggle trying to find a job, and then I got involved with National Wealth Center, and the rest is history, whatever. But anyway, my whole point is to say that whenever you get an idea in your head for an email or for something to post on Facebook or social media, get it down on paper or digital paper as quickly as possible. The reason being is that the sooner you write it down, the more enthusiastic you will remain about it, the more excited you will be about it, and the more that will show in whatever you're writing. But proofread it, okay? But go back and proofread. What I usually do is I'll write something out. If I get an idea about something, I'll write it down really quick, and I'll go back. I'll leave it. I might even write the whole email out. I'll leave it for at least 30 minutes or so, come back, look at it. If it still reads the way I think it should have read or the way I wanted to convey my message, then I will send it out after editing it. So don't feel obligated that you had this idea of a great email and you feel like you got to send it out right away. You don't have to. Just get it down on paper or digital paper as soon as possible, okay? And proofread. So next up, let's talk about personalizing your message. Now, this is sort of done for you in the Thrive Funnel. You could do a better job with it. If you go into your signature, into the Thrive Funnel, you click on that signature button, and then there's a little tool that I've linked to on that page where you can go and add your photo, social media links, and all this stuff and create a really cool signature to add into your Thrive Funnel. So I'll link to that inside of the system. But this is a way to personalize your message. I remember, I think it was it Yvonne or Carrie or somebody mentioning when we first started Thrive Funnel, hey, is there a way to add personalization? That's a great question. That's a question that everybody should be asking, or that's something people know that they should be adding to their email. So get your picture in there, get your name in there, get your social media links in there so they can follow you on other social media channels. And this is so important, guys. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at a company before I got started with National Wealth Center, and National Wealth Center was my very first network marketing company. But prior to National Wealth Center, I was looking around at different options. There was another company out there that's no longer around, actually. And I was looking at joining up with this opportunity. I found a guy, and I remember opting into his list. I was brand spanking new, knew nothing about network marketing, knew nothing about automated emails, knew nothing about capture page systems, any of that. And this guy, you know, he had emails coming out to me. And at first I thought, man, this guy's sending me emails. Like, this is pretty cool. He's got his picture in here, his name, and he's following up with me. You know, this is kind of cool. And then eventually I realized they're automated emails, but that actually got me more excited because I realized, wow, I could have a system like that that's sending out emails as well and have my picture in there and stuff. But here's the funny thing, guys, because that guy had his picture in there, his name in there, and other social media links, which I followed him on, I remember this guy to this day. I never joined him in the business, but that just speaks volumes of how you can build a rapport with people just by adding a little bit of personalization to your emails, okay? There's other ways to do it as well, and that's by throwing your personality, like I mentioned here, name, picture, signature, social media links can be thrown in there. Also, your personality, you know, add a little bit of your personal touch to it. Don't feel like even if like I give you guys an email template to use, I would hope that you guys would kind of move it around, edit it a little bit to your own personal flavor, your own personal touch, so that people can get a sense of who you are. And it's kind of hard, like, right, with black and white text, you're sending out just really written words. It's kind of hard to build rapport and kind of not build rapport, but to share who you are as a person or your personality. But you can do it if you get kind of clever with it and throw in the way you would talk into your emails, okay? And again, that goes a long ways with people when you start talking to them as if they're a friend. And I don't mean talking slang with people. You know, keep it professional, but also keep it lax, right? Keep it informal, okay? So next up, share a story. I just mentioned one idea, but yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I shot out an email about an experience I had where I went to a grocery store, and I remember hearing one of the clerks saying, "Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. We have the weekend off," or something. And so I thought about this, and I thought, wow, that's so crazy. It's been a long time since I thought that. You know, but I used to think the same thing. I used to think, oh my gosh, it's Friday, finally, weekend. Woohoo. When I haven't thought about that in years, you know, because I don't even sell it. I don't have any day off, and I don't want a day off. I love what I do, right? But I don't have to work any day at all if I don't want to, except for Sunday and Monday nights, of course. But yeah, so that triggered something in me, a reminder, you know, that I used to be that same way. Maybe I can convey this in an email to people and tell them, hey, look, there's a way out. And overhearing this conversation of these clerks in this grocery store reminded me of what life used to be. So you could write a quick little story. And when I say story, be careful, don't write a book. Write a quick story about what you experienced, what happened, what triggered your thought, you know, and how does this apply to the person you're writing? Okay, how does this apply to your list? Can you get them out of that situation too, in case they're feeling the same way, like they're looking forward to the weekends all week long? So that's an example of a story you can share. And, you know, those types of emails I really carefully reread, come back to, you know, and edit, give it a little time, come back and edit again to make sure, because they're typically longer and I don't want to come off any sort of way I don't want to come off. So, but yeah, that's a great way. People love a story. There's a great book. I wish I'd have brought it in here. All Marketers Tell Stories it's not Seth Godin. I think it's, is it Gary Vaynerchuk? Anybody know that? All Marketers Tell Stories. It's either Gary Vaynerchuk or Seth Godin. I think it's Seth Godin. Anyway, great book, great little tiny book too. My favorite type of book, real short. But it talks about how advertising has changed over years and how even big corporations now have to tell stories in their marketing to even make an impact. Okay. And there's some great examples out there of companies doing that now. Anyways, I digress, but share stories and keep them short and sweet, but those can really help you to hit pain points in your emails. Okay. Don't come off needy. Remember that they need you. Okay. Don't come off needy with your marketing. Don't be like, I don't know. I can't even think of an example because I've never come off that way. I've never tried to come off that way, but you don't want to push people too hard. You don't want to twist their arms. You guys would not believe how many phone calls I get from people who say that they were going to join somebody in Nashville Wall Center, but the person was twisting their arm, and because they wouldn't join fast enough, they said, forget it. And then these people come to me, and I'm like, well, join at your own pace. I'm here to help you when you're ready to get on board. And then they end up joining me, which they could have easily joined somebody else if they'd have just been a little more patient and not come off as needy. Okay, you'll run these people off. And the more you act like you need people, the less they think you can help them. Okay, they don't want to be out there chasing people around. So let me see if I got a couple questions here. Make sure. Carrie says, how do you create hyperlinks? So in your email broadcaster in the nwcfunnel.com, you can highlight a link, like just scroll your mouse across it and highlight it. And then there's a link button up there in the WYSIWYG editor. I can say that what you see is what you get editor up there. There's a little link icon. It actually looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse or not. It looks like this, sort of. Insert a link. So you would just highlight the text in your email and then click the link there to create the link. And then it would just ask you what web address to put in there, okay? Coach Steve says information tells, stories sell. 100%, absolutely, absolutely. Information tells you what you got, or tells them, the data points, but the stories really are what's going to sell people because it hits those pain points. So, yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Create a call to action. All right. So you guys are probably thinking, well, Brandon, you just said that. You said create a call to action. Do it in more than one place. Okay, and that's why I did this twice. Create your call to action in the middle of the email. Also put it at the end of the email, if not more than that, okay? Don't put your link all over the place. If your main objective probably is going to be, your main call to action is probably going to get people back to your website to watch our videos and to get started in the business. But at least have 2 links in there, somewhere like in the middle, and make it be like a highlighted text of something like quit your 9 to 5 or something that's a pain point. Highlight that, put your link in there. Also put it at the bottom somewhere, okay? And at least that many times, at least 2, okay? The more you repeat your call to action and what you're wanting them to do, the more they'll do it. And guys, you'll be surprised. People listen. You really would be surprised. You think, people don't listen these days. People don't listen. Maybe your kids don't, but people who are hungry for an opportunity to quit their 9 to 5 job and find a better opportunity, they're eager to follow your directions if you'll give them a few. So give them directions, tell them what to do, they'll do it, okay? And put it in more than one place. Don't make every email a sales pitch. This is great advice. This is really, really great advice. Don't make every single email you send out about the business, or if it is about the business, don't have some emails where you don't put any call to action in there. Don't put any link in there whatsoever, okay? And you'll be surprised. People will think, okay, this goes back to not being needy. They'll be like, well, I guess he's not really pushing me, or she's not really pushing me. They're just trying to share some information with you. And you'll be amazed. They'll reply to your emails. They'll say, well, where's the link to check out more on this? Or like it says here, offer free gifts, advice, or share experiences. You could throw in another story there, right? With no link to your sales page whatsoever. Okay, just get them interested in the idea of working for themselves, firing their boss, working from home. Also, you can offer free gifts. Like I said, there's a lot of PLR products out there. I don't know offhand the name of any websites, but there's a ton of websites out there that sell PLR products. Those are private label rights products. There's a couple of different versions. I can't remember what rights you need to sell something out front. I think PLR is what it is. And just look up these websites. You can buy ebooks for like $1 or $2. You can buy all kinds of products. Just make sure it's something that's worthy. You don't want to just say, I've got this free gift for you. Thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks for following me and being on my email list. I appreciate it. Here's 10 ways to walk your dog. Give them something that's relevant, something that has to do with making money from home, something of that sort. Make sure it's relevant to who they are and what they're looking for, the information that they're after from your email list. So yeah, you can do stuff like that. Offer free gifts, free PLR products, what have you. You could also create your own, I know some of you guys are in, well, and then this would be offering or pitching somebody else. So I'm not going to say that, but I know that some of you guys are good at writing and you could create your own little ebook or create your own little PDF, right? Share that with your list. Just make sure there's nothing on there that's salesy, okay? That builds rapport, okay? So that's just another thing you could do. And end with a personal touch. If any of you guys have communicated with me, or if you communicated with Thrive Support, you'll notice we always end our emails with "in success," "yours in success," your partner, something like that. End with a personal touch. Regards is fine, but that is kind of 1980s, 1990s the way to end the email. So, in success, yours in success, truly yours, whatever. Something a little more personable, maybe something that has to do with the business. Like I like doing in success. It's like we're in success together. But come up with your own. I know one of my members, Trisha Fraunhofer, name dropping here. I don't know if she's on tonight, but she always ends with aloha. She's not from, but she lived in Hawaii for a long time. And I believe aloha is a greeting as well as a farewell. So she uses aloha in hers. Keep it original, keep it to whatever you want to do, but make it something people will remember. Okay. It's another way to throw in your personality and build rapport with people. Okay. So those are just some tips, guys, to use with email marketing. There's also a link on here. I'm going to put this up on our training site tonight. I'll get it up by tonight. But here's a link here. And I'll tell you what, let me see if I can grab this. I want you guys to stick with me though, but I'm going to send this out to you guys in the chat room. This is an incredible resource. I found this yesterday or today, a list of a bunch of different email subject lines and why they used them. Freaking brilliant. And it'll give you a lot of good ideas of ways to grab people's attention. Again, the headline is the most important thing. If you can't get people's attention from the very first, by the subject line, not headline, subject line in the email, they're going to delete it. Okay. Or it's going to go or they're just never going to open it. Okay. You need to grab their attention from the subject line. That's why it's so important. Okay. Make sure I've got any questions over here. You're welcome, Carrie. Coach Steve asked a question in the Q&A. Let me answer that real quick. Does the name work in the subject line? It does. Absolutely. He's asking if the tilde, NAME, tilde, ask if that works in the subject line. It does. So what you could do is say, hey, name, this made me think of you, or something. That would be a great subject line, by the way, to get somebody to open it. People want to know, people are so self-conscious these days. What made you think of me? So go ahead and steal that one, guys. But yeah, you can use the name field. You can use any of those in the subject line. I wouldn't use their phone number or anything like that, but you could use their name. You don't worry about the last name. If you can get the first name in there like that, that's all that matters. You can get their attention that way. Great question. Great question. Okay, cool. So let me make sure, this real quick. Okay, cool. So guys, I posted that in the chat box. Also, you guys who are watching the recording of this, there's a link here to check out the email subject lines. It's brilliant. I definitely recommend going through that and getting some ideas there. Great stuff. And remember that email marketing and creating ad copy, in other words, creating posts on social media, pretty much go hand in hand. The same principles apply, but your social media posts are going to be shorter for the most part. There have been occasions where I've taken emails, straight up emails that I've done, and posted them on Facebook, and they've done very, very well. I wouldn't choose a very long email, but for the most part, they do very, very well. And what you would do is use your subject line that you used in your email as the quote unquote headline at the top of your social media, okay, post. So I want to talk a little bit about some social media post examples and what you could do on social media. There's a million and one ideas out there of things you could do. I'm going to share some examples of things I've done recently that have worked well, and we'll go from there. But here are some things you could do that you could post about. Now, guys, if you haven't watched our Facebook training, check that out as well. There's a video on that. We did a webinar on that just a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was, and where we're talking about how to build your list on Facebook and how to really become a rock star marketing on Facebook. But here are some ideas of things you could be posting on Facebook. Team success and testimonials, like Coach Steve said. If you guys can post about what your team is doing, what your team members are doing, your downline's doing. Heck, guys, if you're part of NWC Thrive, I feel like we're a team. I feel like we're a group, we're a community. We're pretty much a team. Okay, and I know that you guys have your own individual teams as well, and that's cool. But guys, if you want to share results from people in NWC Thrive or people in your team, if you have a team name, whatever, share those results, guys. It goes a long ways. Heck, if it's somebody else, it doesn't really matter. If it's somebody outside of NWC Thrive, outside of your team, it doesn't matter. If you're seeing results out there, somebody posting, Share those results. Be like, look what this member is doing in National Wealth Center. They started X amount of months ago. Look what they're doing. It's killer. Okay. So team success and testimonials, webinar invites. Everybody here with NWC Thrive should be doing webinar invites. I'll show you an example of that here in just a minute. Marketing and training resources. What I mean by this is don't post, like you don't want to post the link to our SoloAd co-op and the password to it on social media. But you could say, hey, check this out. How simple is this? We have a SoloAd co-op with our group where people are getting SoloAd traffic at a discount, a major discount because we're ordering together. That's an example. It's probably not the best example of what to write, but that's an example of what to share when I'm talking about sharing your marketing and training resources, telling people what you have to offer them once they get in the business. Okay, that's a huge thing. Hitting on pain points is huge. Sharing results of other people is big. But a lot of people want to know, what do you have to bring to the table? What do you have to offer them? Why should they join with you in the business? So if you can say, I've got access to all this, they're more likely to join with you. Your results. Again, as I mentioned before, there's nothing wrong with sharing your results. Don't make that the major thing you do. Don't make that the primary thing you're posting about. But do share your results from time to time. People want to know that you're successful, right? Or they want to see what you've done. Okay. And by the way, guys, and I had to learn this early on because I thought, well, I don't really have anything to share. I don't have any signups yet. What do I share? Well, if I'm getting a ton of leads, and even top marketers, some of our top runners in NWC, I've seen them out there doing it. They post all the leads they're getting. In fact, I think Coach Steve might be one of them. We post the leads we're getting. That's a form of success. If you have leads rolling in, man, you know how many people would kill to have leads rolling in? That's a form of success. So share that out there, okay? But share your results. Post questions that trigger a response, okay? A lot of these pain points. Would you like, a good example is, would you like to make an extra $2,500, $50,000 a month by handing out a simple phone number? Well, yeah. Well, yeah. And that's such an obvious thing that triggers a response from people. They're like, heck yeah, I would. That's a great example of that. And I'll show you that post here in just a minute. Info about the National Wealth Center opportunity. Again, don't give them everything away for free, but share a few details. There's a post I'm going to show you in a minute where I'm talking about, you had me at 100% commissions. People are like, what? Because a lot of people who are in the network marketing niche that are following me, and pretty much almost everybody that's following me on Facebook is in network marketing. They're not, for the most part, I don't know of any other, honestly, at the top of my head, don't know of another company that's offering 100% commissions. I know there's probably some out there, but for most people, 100% commissions is unheard of. So just by posting that one line on social media, and I'll show you that in just a minute, I had a bunch of people opt in and ask me questions and like the post. So that's pretty simple stuff to do, but you can share information about the National Wealth Center opportunity. Just don't go overboard with it. You don't need to do a whole presentation. Unless you're doing a video, you might be able to do that. Stories about your life and your business. Again, I've kind of covered that with the email part. How I can kind of look back on the way I used to live my life, paycheck to paycheck, waking up, going to a place I hated, setting an alarm clock. I don't set an alarm clock anymore, guys. I haven't set an alarm clock in a long time. You know the reason why? It's not because I'm lazy and I sleep in every day. It's because I wake up eager. I wake up hungry. I wake up wanting to get started in my business. I wasn't like that when I had a job. Okay. So anyway, that's a good idea. I need to write that down, and I can make an email about that now. So think about stories and things that pertain to your life and your business, things you can share with people to kind of give them your perspective. Because a lot of people don't understand what it's like to live a life outside of a 9-to-5, or even live a life on the path to get outside of a 9-to-5. A lot of people don't understand that. You can get them into that frame of mind. Okay. Help them shift their mindset. Quotes about business and entrepreneurship. I know some of you guys are thinking, but Brandon, isn't that kind of played out? I've been posting quotes for the last few years and stuff. I follow some pretty big people on social media. Mark Cuban is one I can think of. Eric Worre's one of them. Gary Vee. All these guys post quotes. A lot of them are their own quotes, but a lot of these guys post quotes. And part of the reason why they do it is because they know that you guys love them, I love them, whatever. And they're going to share that around, and it's got their name on it. That's one big reason they do it. But quotes work. They trigger a response, and people like them. I posted one today. and I can't even remember what it was off the top of my head. But I posted a quote today. It got a lot, got a lot of likes and stuff. And that's all I cared about for that post. It wasn't to sell anybody on anything. It was just to get interaction on my Facebook profile. And you guys should be doing that every once in a while as well. We cover that in the Facebook marketing training, so watch that. So let's go into a couple of examples of things I've done on Facebook that you guys can sort of mimic, or just I want to break it down for you real quick why I made these this way. Some of them are better examples than others, but it should kind of cover some of the things we've talked about tonight. So let's look at this first one. This is a webinar invite. One thing you could argue is that I put too many words here. Maybe possibly. It worked out well. I got people on the webinar. A lot of people asked me questions, asked me for the replay. So it worked, right? But I put, you're invited tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, sick of working a 9 to 5, not getting the results you want in your network marketing business. So I hit 2 pain points there. People who are still working a 9 to 5 and hate it, and people who have quit their 9 to 5, or they're in the process of quitting their 9 to 5, but they're not successful in their network marketing business. 2 different kind of crowds there that I was targeting. There's another way. Join me tonight at a live webinar. We'll share information about National Wealth Center that's insanely lucrative. Look how I highlighted certain things, guys. The headline here, that's what I call a headline here. And that's why you heard me messing up on the email part. I say headline, subject line, kind of interchangeably. This is what I consider a headline here. I'll put it in all caps. I want to get their attention. You have this much time to catch somebody's attention on Facebook. A little bit more on email, but about that much time on Facebook, and they're just scrolling through, okay? So I try to grab their attention as quick as possible. So I highlighted, or I bolded, or I uppercased, I should say, the most important things: insanely lucrative comp plan, impeccable track record of success. Plus I showed how new members are getting results fast, webinar details, blah, blah, blah. Now, one thing you guys are going to have to, and I'm going to have to change as well for the webinar invites, and I put this in our NWC Thrive back office on the prospecting webinar page, is now we're going to have to create a call to action for people to contact us for the access code. Now, this could actually prove to be a very good thing, okay? So you guys might be thinking, well, that stinks, because now we've got to do another step to get people on the webinar. What if they don't reach out? Well, the people that reach out to you, if you create a call to action, like on a post like this, and say, hey, webinar tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, register here and contact me for the access code, or you won't be able to get on. Or just webinar details, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, hit me up, DM me, or comment info below, comment info below, and I'll send you the access code. That's even better. Don't even give them the link. Okay, because if you give them the link, they're going to be able to register, but they won't have the code to actually log on. So that's what I would do, guys. And it'll actually create better rapport, because now you've spoken with this person. And so, there's actually a connection there. They didn't just see a post and went to it. Now they have a direct line of communication with you because you messaged them on Facebook. And now after the webinar, when they have questions and they're supposed to get back to you with a 3, 2, or 1, they're more likely to do it because they're already talking to you, right? So that could actually prove to be really good. Let's look at another example. My team is crushing it in NWC, dominating the leaderboard. Who's going to be next to come on board and climb the ranks with us? Get positioned. So, and I'm going to share something else that I do, kind of subliminally, is I use hashtags as a way to kind of convey what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling. And like here you'll see proud sponsor, self-unemployed, NWC Thrive. Really the proud sponsor part is what I wanted to convey. Like, I'm proud of my team. They're doing awesome. It's not so much a pat in the back. It's more like I'm really excited. Like, my team is actually crushing it, And so by sharing this, it's like, and I know a lot of you guys on here ended up sharing this same graphic, which is awesome. It's just so powerful. Like, I mean, and it's so true too. Like, look what we're doing in NWC Thrive. Look at all the leaders on the leaderboard. It's incredible. That's not a coincidence, guys. Not a coincidence. We've got a lot of powerful tools here, training and resources to help one another out. And I'm also of the belief that we're all pushing each other to get there. I think there's a lot of support here and a lot of motivation between members that's really driving us to this leaderboard and just dominating it, right? So this is a good example right here. Just talking about your team and what they're doing. Let's go down a little bit. This one was very simple. 34 opt-ins within 48 hours. This simple system flat out works for everyone. So I'm talking about the 3-step system. And so that goes back to talking about our training, our marketing resources, what we have to offer as a group. Okay, so that's a simple way to do that. And this page, actually, I have set up to go to my 3-step capture page system. So they'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So that's a clever way, really quick, really simple way to just throw a line in there and show somebody else's results. Plus, I'm sharing that we have a system in place to help get those results. Okay, couple things there. Let's go down a little bit. This one simple strategy has gone viral. Again, I'm talking about the 3-step system, one of our marketing resources that we have available to us. Learn how you can put an extra 2,500 to 50K in your pocket by using our done for you. Make that all caps, you know, because people want done for you. They want systems that are ready to go out of the box, right? Marketing system. And I've now gotten to a point where I'm adding links to NWC and links to Thrive. Okay. All right. Let's go on another one. This one I'm talking about myself. Okay. This one I'm talking about my results. $425 in my sleep. That's the beauty of residual income and having an online business. Join us tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time to learn how you too can tap into this incredible income system. Look at the emphasis on you too. Okay. Cool. It's fine. I've been doing this for years. It's not an abnormal thing for me to wake up with money in my bank account. Okay. New money in my bank account. But let me show you how you too can do this. Okay. It doesn't matter about me. What can I do for you? Right. Keep that in mind. Let's get down a little further. I think many of you guys saw this post. I actually made sure I got the screenshot of how many reactions, how many comments I got on this, because it was just incredible. It was so simple. And I know a lot of you guys followed along and did a post just like this or similar to it. How simple is this? Would you like to make an extra 2,500 to 50K per month by simply handing out a phone number? Drop a yes below and I'll show you how. How simple. Drop the mic, you know what I mean? Done. And 54 comments later, that doesn't include my comments back to them because I had them dropping a yes. There's my definitive call to action there. Drop a yes below and I'll show you how. Okay, I want to show you how. Okay, and this is what you need to do next. Drop a yes below. People will listen to you guys. People will follow instructions if you give them those instructions, right? So make sure you're doing that. That may be, no, got a couple more. What more can I say? What we do obviously works. Still waiting. You know, we're ready to help you guys. Whenever you're ready, we're ready, you know. Thank you for your video. Watched it, got signed up, made $55,000. There's a real message I got from somebody. Okay, I added this graphic in here and clipped it or photoshopped it in a way. But this is a real testimonial I got from somebody, and I just shared it on social media. Here's somebody else's results. 30K in 7 months at 20 years old. What people are doing in this business is insane. Okay. That's the first thing people are going to see here. Well, the image, which a meme goes a long ways in 2018, 2019. A meme goes a long ways on the internet today. So if you find a funny meme to put in with something or just the meme, you're going to get some attention probably on that post if it's a good meme. But the main text here was 30K in 7 months at 20 years old. Anybody that scrolls past this and sees that, I don't care what age they are or what they're doing, it's probably gonna grab their attention. You know, most people don't make 30K in 7 months. All right. So it's another idea there. Now this is an example of where I went a little bit overboard, but it still worked out fine. Okay. Ready to change your life for real. I've been earning a steady 6-figure residual income with this opportunity for going on 4 years, and you can get started for just $35. How crazy is that? This requires no big investment, no experience, no list or bothering friends or family, no cryptocurrencies or blockchain knowledge. I threw that in there because there's so many blockchain opportunities now, and a lot of people have been scammed out of them. So I don't want anybody thinking that's what it is. And I'm not saying that all blockchain stuff is scams. There's just a lot of them out there that are. Only a few hours a week and a desire to change your life. If I can do this, so can you. I had never marketed anything in my life or been a salesman. Luckily, I didn't need those skills because we have traffic strategies to drive gobs of leads to your own personalized website. What I did with this post, I remember making this post, it wasn't that long ago, but I remember thinking, I have to sometimes take myself back to what it was like from day one to remember what it was like getting started and the kind of fears and thoughts I had in my head. And I try to make my post and my emails, you know, from that place, you know, of a newbie. So I can really kind of convey to them, hey, it's okay. I didn't know anything either. Okay, I was brand new as well. So this one is a little wordy. It's a little long, but it also did work. Okay, it's kind of like email length, which is, again, is fine. You can do that. Just make sure it's good and it's going to grab people's attention. Another thing that I haven't mentioned this whole time, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned it, is I like to use these. Oh, somebody's going to have to help me out here. The dot, dot, dot. What is the word for that? Where you kind of drag on and go to the next line. Ellipses. Thank you. I was going to say that. I was like, that's probably wrong. Thank you, McKay. Ellipses. I use those a lot. And I don't use them like, I try not to use them overly. But the reason why we use those is it drags people's attention, or not drags. It pulls people's attention down to the next line. Okay. And maybe some of you guys have seen me do these posts online, or maybe you received an email from me and you think, well, that's a weird way to write. To the you know, average person who reads books and reads blogs and stuff, yeah, most bloggers, most people who write books are not going to put ellipses everywhere. But when you're doing marketing and ad copy, you want to get you want to keep them reading. You want to keep them in a flow, right? And so to get them down to that next line, you know, add those little ellipses in there to keep their attention to it. Okay, so this requires ... No big investment, no experience, no list or bothering friends or family. And you'll see that in some of my other posts. Let me see. Like here I did it. Like the reason why I did it here is I want them to keep on going. Don't stop here. There's more below. Okay. And I do that a lot. I do it regularly. Again, you don't want to do it overly, but where it makes sense, I do put it. Okay. Oh, I have one more. This is the one I was telling you guys about. You had me at 100% commissions in a face with hearts. Okay. Or eyes with hearts. This is killer. Like, I mean, that's all I really needed to write, right? I mean, because there's a lot of people that follow me that are in the network marketing arena, don't make anywhere near 100% commissions. Okay. Luckily, maybe 50% commissions. So to just see that one line, they're like, what? 100% commissions? Let me check this out. Right. And then they see the graphic here, which, by the way, guys, a lot of these graphics are inside of NWC Thrive. You'll see it under marketing tools. Promotional graphics. I've got a lot of these back here for you guys to use. So you literally copy some of these I've done. Okay. And it says here, remember that you can post to both Facebook groups and your own timeline. Yeah. So you don't have to just post these on your timeline. I mainly just use my timeline these days. Now, if you're new to the network marketing space and you're trying to build up your friends list of people who are in the home-based business industry, then even if you're not, like, it's still a good idea to post into Facebook groups either way. You reach a lot more people. And I know a lot of you guys are doing that and get gobs of leads every single day doing that. I know you do have to be careful not to get put in Facebook jail or get banned for certain groups. But for the most part, there's a lot of groups out there that welcome you to go in there and post into those groups. So you can do that, guys. Okay, so it says here, post to both your Facebook groups and your own timeline. Over time, you should build up your Facebook friends list, though. And you can see our Facebook training to see how this is done. Once you have a good number of people following you, you pretty much have a 24/7 billboard to market your business, or as I like to call it, you have your own TV show, basically. Okay, you have your little own corner of the internet. Same thing with email marketing, guys. It's an invaluable resource that people take for granted. I was talking to a guy today who's getting ready to join National Wealth Center, and he said, I've got a list. I can't remember how many he said was on it, 3,000 or 5,000, and he called it a small list. And I said, well, look, that's 3,000 to 5,000 people you can send a direct message to right now, and pretty much if you write a good subject line, you can get all their attention and share what you're doing. That's something a lot of people would pay a lot of money for, right? So remember, guys, this is an invaluable tool, and a lot of people think they're coming into, and this is another thing I like to correct people on, when they're looking at joining National Wealth Center, and they say, I don't have a list. I'm new. I don't have a list. I know that the money is on the list. Do you have a Facebook profile? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Twitter? How many people are following you on those accounts? Those are lists, right? Those are lists of people, okay? So you have a list. Everybody has a list these days. We're basically, it's ingrained in our DNA now to have social media accounts. So we pretty much all have some sort of list out there that we can be marketing to. It's just up to you to take action and do it. So anyway, guys, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope I didn't go on way too long, about a little over an hour. So a little longer than I like. But I hope that's been helpful, guys. Let me see. I've got one question up here. Do you use Canva to make those graphics? I actually use Photoshop. I'm fortunate enough that sorry, let me get off this. I'm fortunate enough that I actually went to school for web design, and one of my courses was Photoshop. Like that was a complete course, Photoshop. So it's pretty intense. Photoshop is. There's also GIMP, which is a free version. Well, I shouldn't say a free version of Photoshop, but it's a similar program to Photoshop that you can use. I find it to be a little more difficult, but if you guys wanted to learn Photoshop, you could. You'd have to take a course on it probably. But as McKay mentioned, Canva is a really, really good tool. Let me put that in here. I think, McKay, isn't it just canva.com? I think it is. On canva.com, you can create graphics, you can create YouTube thumbnails, Facebook graphics, what have you. And also, let me type this in here, and I'll make sure I put this on the training thing, pixabay.com and pexels.com. Those two websites, I spend many hours on those sites. Almost every day I'm on those sites. Pixabay and Pexels, what they are places where you can get free images to use. Now, with Facebook, you don't have to be so worried about copyright issues with images because it's pretty much a known thing. Hey, all images get shared at some point to Facebook. So you can pretty much do a Google search for images to use. But if you want to be careful, and if you're thinking about using these on a website, then use Pexels or pixabay.com. And those two sites offer free, royalty-free graphics that you can download and use pretty much any way you want to. You can even modify them, like sort of like I've done here. This guy came with the original image. I took him off that image and put him on this. So those are some really cool resources, and I'm glad McKay mentioned Canva. That is I've used that a lot, especially for YouTube thumbnails. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here, and we'll continue with the webinar. I just want to stop the recording here so it's not too long for the recorded version of this. If you guys have questions about the training part of this, be sure to get back with your sponsor. Reach out to us at support@nwcthrive.com, and we'll help you with any questions you have about creating ad copy, and we'll try our best to even help you out with some emails if we can. All right.